And speaking of COVID, um, you have an event like COVID, right? Unexpected, what's happening, and the big expectation is live golf. Talk about the live golf transition, where you think it's, where you, in your opinion, where you think it's going, and you know, where does it stand? Personally, I'm not a, I'm a PGA guy.
Sure. No, I
Yeah,
totally understand. It's interesting. Golf was ripe for the picking at the time. Live Golf has been in conversation. My first meeting about Live Golf was in 2019. Live Golf came into existence in 2022. Ultimately, I think it's been a positive disruption for the game in the sense that it's pushed the PGA Tour to change and grow and stop and not remain stagnant like it has for years. I mean, look at the purses that the guys on the PGA Tour are playing for today. I mean, the signature events are double what they'd ever played for before. The player impact program and some of these other bonus pools that never were in existence before. So people may say that those who went to live, made all this, money, and that's great. And everyone went to live for a different reason. Whether it was their family, whether it was a business decision, whether it was to travel the world, whatever it may have been. I respect everyone's decisions, but those that stayed also benefited from it. And ultimately, I think the game as a whole was disrupted, and that's unfortunate. But from a monetary standpoint, the players benefited, and we'll see where things go from here. I mean, there's a lot of uncertainty as to the future of professional golf and whether Live in the PGA Tour will find a way to potentially come together at some point in time, or they'll continue to operate separately. But we'll see. It's going to be an interesting 6 to 12 months here, and we'll see what happens.
I don't know. I mean, I love wearing shorts to play golf, but I don't know about the shorts on the play tour.
Yeah,
Right?
I'm a traditionalist at heart, so shorts on the golf course, from a professional level is a little much for me.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll see. I mean, it's definitely it's been disruptive, and disruption's not always a bad thing. However, like the game needs to come back together at some level.
Well, it's competition, right? And it's
Absolutely,
great competition. I always said how boring life would be or how boring business would be if it wasn't for competition. Can
no
you
doubt.
imagine if there was never competition? Everything, the world is competitive. Everything's competitive.
Absolutely.
So, wow, that's really great. We're excited to hear how this is going to unfold with
Yeah,
Live Golf.
it should be really interesting to
But
see.
because of that, you know, you're traveling all over the world,
I am.
and would you say you went
Yeah, I was in Saudi Arabia last week for 14 hours.
right?
It was a long trip, but it was a very necessary meeting, and I'm glad I went. And I've got another meeting coming up in Tokyo in a couple weeks, and
For a day?
it's fun for a day. Yeah,
Yeah,
with two young kids, you try to be home as much as
right.
possible, but also there's some really big stakes at the present moment in the world of professional golf.
So
So
talk about the kid. Talk about the family. Like, you're out, you're going. Even when you do come home, you're
yes,
probably fried. How
yes.
do you deal with that? I mean, obviously, Amanda's got to be a super understanding
I always
individual.
say that her job is way more difficult than mine. There's no doubt about that. She's got it tough, but also she's very fortunate as well that she doesn't have to have a job, and she can spend the time with the kids. But it's a lot of work. There's no doubt about it. It's hard for me to be away from the kids, and I want to be with them and spend as much time as possible. However, my career, I refer to it as a career instead of a job. It's demanding. It's 24/7, 365. Takes me across the globe. Very fortunate to do it, but it's hard. And finding that balance between the family and work is something that's been a challenge over the years, and I continue to strive each and every day to be better at. But it's always going to be a work in progress because you want to provide for your family. You want to do everything you can to make sure that they're comfortable and happy, and I'm providing the attention that my children need. But at the same time, I have a job to do. So it's finding that balance, and it's tricky.
So you're out with the kids, you're at the playground or whatever. Cell phone rings, you pick it up.
It does, yeah. Like it never stops. My phone is attached to me at the hip, whether it's the middle of the night or it's 3 o'clock, on a Saturday afternoon, hanging out with the kids. It's the job I chose. It's the career I chose. I'm very grateful for it, but there are there's some difficult times that, like, you have to be present with the family, but at the same time, I have a very demanding job.
Right.
I've got to be there for my clients, and it's the client services business. And ultimately, we're dealing with some major things in sports today. So
Yeah. And
there's a
you're and
lot
you're
going
and
on.
you're blessed that your family understands. And
Absolutely,
one of my close friends is Leon Rose, former
sure.
agent, kinda came up the same way
Yep.
you did, scrappy, and then now he's president of the Knicks, and his wife, Donna. I mean, I used to say, "Wow, how do you do all this?" I mean, he's traveling all the time, and it takes a toll, and it pays dividends, and hopefully the family realize it was all for
Absolutely. No, we'll
their
we'll
good.
have great stories later, and eventually, hopefully, my son, as he gets older, will be able to travel with me and experience, some of the things that I get to experience, and my daughter too, if that's what she chooses. But we'll see. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, maybe we like Tiger and Charlie.
Yeah, I could only wish that my son can play like the Woodses and doesn't take after his dad.
Oh,
So
man. Hey, so I wanna talk about a rising star. You've managed Lexi Thompson,
yes,
was just at my club a few weeks ago since 2020. How do you manage a great brand like Lexi, compared to, like, the Sam Burns and
sure.
Kirk
Yeah,
Kitayama?
I mean, Lexi's fantastic to work with. We've worked together almost 6 years now. I've known her since 2016 when Bryson turned professional. They were both part of Cobra Puma Golf. So we, developed a relationship, played out of the same club at Trump International. So I've just known her for a long time. During COVID, we started to play a lot of golf together. She decided to make a change in her career and switch agents, and I was fortunate enough to be the
Mm,
beneficiary of that. And so it's been a different part of Lexi's career that I'm been managing compared to the start at a young age, having a tremendous amount of success. She's still extremely successful on and off the golf course, but it's different. She's in a different stage in her career as she's closer towards the end, where working with some others, from the start, whether it's Sam Burns, who I've worked with now for 9 years, who's just a fantastic
he's doing
guy, a
great.
great player, and he's got really big things coming here in the near future. And it's a lot of fun, but it's different styles of management because people are in different places in their career.
Yeah. Talk about I mean, Bryson happens to be in an amazing physical condition. I saw Lexi a few
Yeah.
weeks ago. She's an amazing specimen. I don't think people realize how much work golfers put in to their
Yeah,
physical
no, people don't have
uh,
any idea. A lot of times I'll hear people say, why isn't Bryson playing this? Or why isn't Sam playing? Why isn't Bryson playing? Why isn't Lexi playing? Why don't they play every week? I don't understand. It's just golf. It's so much more than golf. I mean, the fitness routines and the amount of time they spend on their body and on their mind is so demanding. And it's really not different than any other sport, how hard they work today. I mean, Tiger Woods, and he really changed the sport and, you have to be a real athlete to play at the highest level. If you go out on the PGA Tour or LIV and you see all the different equipment that they have, that these guys, from cold plunges to, you name it. I mean, like, these guys are athletes. They're no longer, looking like they're overweight out there, slumping around, smoking cigarettes, playing golf. It's not that anyway. These guys and gals are real athletes today at the highest level. So it is physically demanding on the body and the mind.